Hello, trading is closed on September 12, 2018. My last call said unless we kept and promptly took out this high, lower prices would print, but that didn't necessarily mean that we closed lower. I didn't make a directional call. It's always a moral victory when I make no directional call and we close essentially unchanged. During the day, MEJT shines when the market does nothing. Said this drop wouldn't stick because it was false. Said the rally wouldn't stick. Said this rally was false and gave a sell signal described in my book right at the high. Said this drop wouldn't false. Said this drop was false and prices would retrace. Well, what about tomorrow? What are we supposed to make of this mess? Well, I have conflicting signals again. Now, the day I'm looking for is going to have an early low and a late high, and it tends to be a positive day unless we drop sharply early. Usually it closes at the day's high, and if we don't, then either we gap to that high the following day or else trouble comes. Well, why do we have conflicting signals here? Well, we've had 2 days of rally most of the day and still can't close over these highs. That's not good. And this number based on somebody else's work is resistance. But the other side of the coin, the other negative thing, as I said, we usually go under this low, but we didn't. Other side of the coin is I have strong support here. Let's go over some of it. Here's your Gann fan line, 1x4. That's pretty close to 1x4. Here's your fib support if I don't move it. So that may well hold. Well, when you have conflicting signals, the commonest thing, not the only thing, is to gap and promptly move outside the day's range. Now, the big negative here is that we can't close over these highs. But the majority of the time, not every time, when you pound on this target so many times and only pound on resistance all these times and only hit support once, usually the more times you pound on it, the more likely you are to break through in that direction. So even though I can justify a gap in either direction, I think the most likely direction would be up, preferably over this high. Now, just because the pattern has an early low, it doesn't preclude us from gapping up first. And if we did gap up over this high, it would give credence to an all-day rally unless it were reversed promptly. On the other hand, if we drop slightly and this low holds, I would still look for a recovery later in the day. But if we drop very sharply, then the recovery to new highs might not come. So I think the smartest thing for tomorrow is to see what the early trade brings. Usually, the vast majority of the time, the low of the day comes in the first 1 to 2 hours. And if it isn't a big drop, I would look for a nice rally after that. But the clearest occurrence tomorrow, if it were to occur, would be to gap up and promptly take out this high, which would mean we've pounded on resistance all this time and have broken through it. And if that were to happen, I would look for higher prices throughout the day. So we'll have to see what the early trade brings, and that's today's call.